Let's start this introduction with a definition of the problem we are trying to solve. Software teams are often presented with vague and ambiguous requirements. Studies have found that between 40 and 60% of all defects can be traced back to poorly written or misunderstood requirements. Sadly, my own experience backs this up. I have often seen teams deliver software only to find out that it was not what the customer really wanted or needed, or that it does not solve their problem. I decided I never wanted to experience this sort of failure again, and for many years now have found the Behaviour Driven Development approach to be the most effective solution to avoiding these types of issues. Let me share a quick example with you. Peter, the product manager, hands over a set of requirements for the next product or feature to Diana, the developer. Peter is very busy, so runs off to his next meeting without explaining the requirements to Diana. Diana, the developer, reads the requirements and finds that they do not contain enough detail. The requirements are too vague and could mean many different things to different people. Diana is worried she will not be able to develop the right solution to meet these requirements. She realizes that she needs more information to fully understand what the customer really needs. In summary, the problem is that we risk developing the wrong thing if we don't take the right approach to properly understand the requirements. So what is the solution? Here it is in 3 easy steps. Step 1. Get the right people together to discuss the requirements in more detail. Diana asks Tim the tester and Peter the product manager to meet with her to discuss the login page requirements together. In behavior-driven development, we usually refer to the 3 key roles that you want to have represented in a requirements discussion as the 3 amigos. They are typically the customer, the developer, and the tester. It is quite typical for teams to have a person representing the customer, which in this case is Peter the product manager. The term amigos is to indicate that they are friendly collaborators working together to provide the best solution for the customer. Step 2. Once you have the right people together to discuss the requirements, the next step is about asking good questions to clarify those requirements. Generally, you will want to know who the customer is. This is because the more you know about them, the better you will be able to decide what a good solution will look like for them. You will also need to know what they need or want in more detail, and why they need it. What business problem do they need to solve? What value do they need from our solution? You may also want to know when they need the solution, because if the deadline is close, the scope may need to be cut. Asking the customer or customer representative to tell you more about the requirements is always an easy and polite way to start these discussions. The customer may believe that their requirements are clear enough and may wonder why we need to discuss them. It is helpful to ask clarifying questions. Tim starts with a why does the customer need to do this type question. He's asking what the value is to the customer. He then asks for more details of what is expected as part of the standard login functionality, and provides what he thinks this is. He's asking for more detail about the what and providing his own thoughts on what that could be. Then he asks for the next level of detail. Based on his initial understanding of what the standard login functionality will include, he is thinking about what will be displayed on the login page and what this really means to both the user and the system. Peter is now understanding that his requirements are not as clear as he thought, and that maybe there are some details he has not thought about at all. He clarifies the context, giving the reason why we need the users to log in. He also mentions a possible future feature that could be linked to this. Diana is thinking about what could go wrong and how her code should handle that. She provides an example to clearly explain her thoughts. The example helps Peter clearly understand, and he is able to provide 2 clear requirements to Diana so that she can handle the error condition in a very user-friendly way. Step 3, the final step, is to capture these discussions into structured examples that clearly specify what is required. These examples will define the desired behavior of the solution. So when these behaviors can be demonstrated by the code developed by Diana and tested by Tim, then Peter will know that the solution is meeting the requirements and is ready to be released to the customers. Tim suggests the first example. He's using the given, when, then structure. This is often referred to as a gherkin statement. You can learn more about these later in the course. The format is basically given some context, precondition or starting state. When an event occurs, an action is taken, or something specific happens, then I should have an outcome or see a result or be in some new state. The example is describing the behavior of the login page when a user successfully logs in. The second example is describing the behavior the user will see when they mistype their email address, resulting in an invalid email address syntax. Note that this is different to typing an email address that does not yet exist as a registered user in the system. Diana and Peter are happy with the suggestions Tim has made and are keen to capture all of the critical behaviors of the login page as examples that will clearly specify the solution. It is important that all the amigos agree on the wording of these examples, as they need to be clear and unambiguous to all. In other words, that they mean the same thing to each of the amigos. So, keep refining your examples until everyone agrees they are clearly explaining the desired behavior. Remember, once the team can demonstrate that the solution behaves this way, then Peter will be happy to release the solution to the customers. These examples specify what done looks like for these requirements. Please take my free introductory BDD training course, which can be found at tiny.cc/bddin3. Thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.